Currently we have the cubicle set up to C block, and we zero graze in for night time even during the summer. Before we started milking, we were in tillage and beef, and we have a contracting business as well that's still ongoing. But on the farm end of things, what we needed to change, I suppose, we have a lot of rented land, and tillage just wasn't really viable, and beef was okay, but not a good enough income for me to stay at home as well. Go the robot route, because we had a lot going on as well with the contracting business, and our neighbours had robots, and there was kind of a good vibe about them, and we kind of said we go with the latest technology and go with the robots. We started here on a greenfield site. It was a 40-acre block. It was actually in tillage, so we laid it down the year before, and we kind of thought, we have a lot of land kind of that's spread out, like, so we kind of thought this is the best field for it, and we zero graze in the rest of the grass. So we started off with one robot and 65 heifers. We always had it in the back of our heads that we would go for the second robot and up the feed. You know, so this is why, I suppose, here we set up that we can be indoors for one of our grazing blocks. Initially we built a shed 6 spans long, enough to hold 70 cows, and then we put in the second robot in 22nd year, 3rd year, and with that in mind, we had to extend the shed to put on another 3 spans. Currently we have the cubicle set up to C block, and we zero graze in for night time even during the summer. So basically, the way, if you go from where the year starts and calving in the spring, cows calve, we try to get them out for 8 hours. For the other 16 hours, we'll zero graze in grass and maybe silage, just to keep the cows right. We give them a bit of silage, keep the silage in the diet, and then during the summer, we try to get on to maybe a 16-hour period where cows are actually out grazing. So A and B will be outdoors, and then we'll have C indoors. So we'll get one load of grass, and that's even going at night time then. So our C block is set up from 6 in the evening till 2 in the morning. So as long as we have the grass in for 6 o'clock, we're grand, like, you know. So basically the routine here every day is, like, obviously during the spring you have calves to tend to and calving and all that, and getting cows onto robots and things like that. Once that is done, you're just moving fences and doing the cubicles for night time, and getting in your load of grass, like, you know. So labour wise, in the spring you'd have 2 people here full time, and then during the summer 1 labour unit is perfect, like, you know. But originally we would have started with 1 robot, 65 heifers, so during the summer of that year we were able to be outdoors fully. We didn't have to have our block indoors, so we would have had A, B and C. So we had A and B out this direction, and our C block out this direction, because obviously most of the land out this way. We had a double lane here off the grazeway and a single lane off the grazeway this direction. So single lane for C, a double lane for A and B, lane A, lane B. That was set up into 8-hour intervals, and once that was done, direct the cows to A from 2 in the morning until 10 a.m. and then for B then from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. and C then from 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. So in year 1, yeah, we had 40 acres here, 65 heifers. That was grand, it worked. But then when we increased numbers, and in year 3 we went and put in a second robot, so we were increased numbers. We had 100 cows, so at that stage it was obviously we weren't going to be able to graze outdoors even during the summer, let alone the shoulders. So we would have set up then our A and B blocks outdoors and C indoors for zero grazing. So C was set up from 6 until 2 in the morning and it was on zero graze grass. So basically we set up the grazeway that we had A going out the front, B going out the back, and C where it was a return gate into the shed, and there was a non-return gate just beside where cows come out to the grazeway. There was an on-return gate back, so the bed did a U-turn through the grazeway back into the shed. To make the C block in the shed work, we had to put in non-return gates at the end of the cubicles. So basically, if a cow comes in and she's after being an A, she'll go to the robot, and she always has to come back out to the grazeway to be points for her to go. So then if she's heading to B, she'll come to the grazeway and she'll let off to with it. Once 6 o'clock in the evening comes and she leaves the robot, and she can't go into the cubicles because the non-return gates are there, but she has to come to the grazeway, and the grazeway directs her U-turn back into the shed. But if she wants, she can go in through the shed, she can eat something, she can drink water, but then she can come back and go through the non-return gate to the robot. She mightn't be due to milk, she'll go into the robot, be let back out, head to the grazeway, and the grazeway points her back into the shed again. So that's our 8 hour interval is inside the shed on zero graze grass. The routine would be, so after dinner we go for this load of zero graze grass, put it in, and like you'd have to obviously tip it out and shove it in and everything, and it'd be in for 5 o'clock, like, but could be kind of starting to come in dribs and drabs then, and waiting kind of for the gate to change at 6 and head in then.